And then one foggy Christmas Eve, Chad went crappie fishing. Well, good morning. It's Christmas Eve, and obviously I have plans for later in the day with family, but I needed a minute, so I'm going to try to get out for a couple of hours and catch some crappie, aka speckled perch, here on this beautiful grassy Florida lake. A lot of activity out here on the lake today. A lot of duck hunting going on. The boat ramp is just full of trucks, boat trailers. So I think there are quite a few other fellows out here who also, there you can hear the shooting in the distance probably from the duck hunting. Always an issue down here when you're fishing these grass lakes in during the waterfowl season. So I tend to just stay pretty close to the ramp when I fish this time of year, as I'm fishing a little Bobby Garland baby shad on a 1/16 ounce jig head, and I'm just fishing the outside edge of where the water lily kind of gives way to some fanwort, and then it's open water, and I'm trying to fish that edge in about, I don't know, 8-9 feet of water. I have an 8-foot anchor spike that I tried to put down. It wouldn't quite hit the bottom, but I know water lily only grows to about 7 feet. So typically these crappies are suspended, 5-6 feet down over that 9-10 feet of water this time of year. Let that fall on a semi-slack line, and I just kind of count it down 4 or 5 seconds. I'm just using a little 6-foot medium light rod, 15-pound Power Pro main line, and a 12-pound fluorocarbon leader. There we go. Oh, that's a bass. I think that's a bass. Yeah, that's a pretty little bass. That's why I use the 12-pound fluorocarbon leader, because you just never know. Well, he's pretty. He's little, but he's pretty. Just a beautiful little fish. He's probably 10, 11 inches. You just never know when a bass is going to inhale that little crappie jig, and I don't want to be fighting them around all this water lily with 6-pound line. Here's something I like to see how the water lily kind of makes a curve like that. That indicates there's a depth contour running like that, and so a little basin here in the middle. I like that. Jeez. Holy crap. Glad I'm not a duck. There we go. Got one. That's what we're looking for. That's the target species. Oh, and that's a good one too. Let's get him in here. Heck yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Nice crappie. Get him unhooked here. He really took it. All right. That's a beauty. I think we're gonna put that one in the cooler and get the fish fry going here. All right. Usually where there's one crappie, there are other crappies. Let's just see if that's the case. I have not always found it to be true. Let's put it that way. many times gone out and caught one crappie in each spot. There we go. Oh, that was one. I saw him. He came off. I saw him flash in the water after I hooked him, and then he came off. So maybe we are on to something. We just trusted the process, as they say, and stayed with the plan here of fishing these outside edges here. Now you can start to see this submergent vegetation a little bit better that I'm talking about. Just fishing the outside edge of that, especially wherever I see a turn in that weed line, or a bend or a point or whatever. It might be into a school of them here. There we go. That's a good one. That is another big one. That is another big one. Oh, that's better than the first one even. Here, I'm gonna net that one because he's just barely hooked. Okay. Let's get him out of the net. I tell you what, big crappies are all I really need to be happy. That is just a gorgeous, gorgeous fish. Gonna be pretty on the plate too. So where I'm catching these fish, you probably can't see it on the camera, but there's a very little notch in this, kind of an open notch in this fanwort. And this school seems to be tucked into that little notch. Oop. All right, I've drifted off of it. I need to get closer, and I need to change my bait because you can see it's worn out. So this is the sum total of my crappie box. I don't know what they call this color, to be honest, but it really works great, especially in darker conditions and in the winter. It's kind of like a green with some silver and red flake on the back, and then it's chartreuse on the belly. It's the Bobby Garland baby shad, and it's great. Usually I just cast it and retrieve it like you're seeing today. Sometimes I will suspend it under a bobber and just kind of give it little twitches, kind of hold it in place. That probably wouldn't be a bad idea today, actually, with the water being cold, but I didn't feel like rigging up a bobber. All right, so this is my anchor system, by the way, in this kayak. It's just a super stick. It's an 8-footer. And you can see just beyond it there's a little clips that I have on the side of the kayak. So we're in about 7 feet of water. I'm guessing those crappies are out in about 9 or 10 because this is sloping off a bit here. I can tell that by the end of the vegetation growing. But I find this way better than an anchor on a rope, and I love this Vibe kayak because it has the scupper holes all through, so you can put that spike through a front one or through a rear one depending on the wind. We've got just a very slight breeze coming at me, and this helps me stay on my spot. Now this school can move, so they may not be exactly where they were when I hooked those other 3, so I just kind of have to fan cast this area until I relocate them, or they could have moved off altogether. You hook and fight 3 of them, you could kind of spook what's left. I did notice too that I caught those working the lure a little bit higher in the water column, and there's guesswork associated with that. I'm guessing that I'm letting this get down about 4 feet. There we go. There's another one. Oh, that's a big mouth. Yeah, that's another nice, really nice crappie. Oh man, look at that fella. Oh geez. Yeah, we're gonna measure that one. Look how beautiful and golden. Jeez. That is a dandy. All right, let's put him on board. Let's see here what we've got. we've got ourselves a very nice, almost 13-inch crappie. That's good eats. Good eats. You know what? 3 big crappies like that, that's all I need. That is all I need for me and my wife to have a nice little fish fry today. Well, hey, thanks for coming along. That was a beautiful morning. About as perfect as you could ask for. It took me about 45 minutes to find a school of crappies, and then once I found them, you know, we punished them at least as hard as we needed to make a meal. And we got enough. It's good not to be greedy, and now it's time to head home. Thanks.